So welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we're so excited to host this event today. It's the first time we've ever done this because typically this would be me meeting you wherever you are, or some of you have visited us at our Karam houses and you'd be able to meet our team and our students in person or at different events. And unfortunately, because this has been such a crazy year, we have to do it virtually, but in a way we're able to bring together a group of people that probably would be very hard to do in normal circumstances. So we're really excited to do this format. It's the first time we're doing it, bringing together our team and our students and our major donors on a specific program. So you guys are you're our experiment today for this model, and I really hope it works. Our idea is that we're bringing you all together in this program that you all invest in very deeply, and we're grateful to you, and we wanted you to be able to meet the people that you're impacting with your support. So we have today a group of our top supporters. We have Ed and Larry from the Shapiro Foundation. We have Rasha, who is on our board, and she's calling in from London. Hassan, her husband, unfortunately could not join today. We have Chris and Patrice Sobecki from the Sobecki Foundation, and we also have Julia from the Schooner Foundation, and my cousin Arif and his wife Rasha would have been calling in from Florida, and they actually just joined this group as multi-year supporters for the Karam Scholars Program. And from the Karam team, we have Nada calling in from California. We have Lainey and Annie and Katie, who are the development team, and we also have Tutku, who's calling in from Istanbul, and you'll hear from people today from our team. And then from our scholars side, we have Mahmoud and Luna calling in from Turkey as well. So we really appreciate you joining us today, and we're going to be recording a piece of this and to be able to share probably an abbreviated version with you after, if the recording works. And I'm going to hand it over to Katie now, who's our Director of Development, if you do not know that. You probably all do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lena. Well, I'll just reiterate that we're so excited to have everyone here today. This is the first of its kind sort of event that we're doing, so we'll be really interested in everyone here's feedback after the fact. What you thought went well, what you think would work really well for us in the future. We see some opportunity in continuing the ability to connect like this with a broader group across time zones, so we're excited about that. As Lena said, we'll be hearing from some of our program staff, and then we'll be hearing from a couple of our scholars. We're really excited for this. Mahmoud and Luna, everyone's really excited to hear from you today, so thank you so much for joining. And to start it off, I'm going to turn it over to Neda and Tuku to talk a little bit about the program.
Thank you, Katie. So I'm Neda Hashim. I'm currently the Director of Programs. And usually I say, I joined the Karam team in late 2015, but actually last week we stumbled across an old video from back in, I think, 2012 or 13, when I was newly graduated from college, and I was doing a lot of community and activism work here stateside. And actually one of the things that we did was, sort of rally up the youth and the Syrian American community here to fundraise for Karam Foundation. So actually my journey with Karam started probably in around 2012 and 2013. And so I did that for a few years until I actually got the opportunity to go with Karam Foundation to southern Turkey and on a volunteer basis run one of the missions that we did, where we took over a school and did innovative programming with the kids. And that's basically when we started to have programming in Turkey. And it was a really, it was an amazing experience to really meet everybody on the ground in Turkey and actually take the ideas that Lena and the board had and basically bring their ideas to implementation and hiring the team and building our programs there. And I think the most humbling experience was the constantly changing context, or us learning more about what the needs are and us building our programs around that. And I think that's been the trend for our organization and programs in general, and even with Karam Scholars, which started in 2016, where we just started off, providing gap funding for for students who were going to college and were able to get that tuition waiver, but that still wasn't enough because they weren't able to relocate to whatever university that they were accepted in and be able to cover costs like books and room and board and things like that. And so us, offering that, and then later as we started hiring and we had people on the ground to work with our students and check in on them and actually learn what they need, that's been where our program has been developing. And that's also why I was really excited when we hired Tutku not so long ago, which I will hand off to her and see what great ideas she had and how we could build this program to support our scholars in an even bigger way. Tutku?
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to meet you guys. I always hear, of course, about all of you, but for the first time, I get a chance to see your faces, at least some of you. So, hi, my name is Tutku Çavuşoğlu. I'm the Karam Scholars Manager. I started with Karam about 7 months ago. I can't believe how fast it passed already, working from home. So the program was already magnificent as it is, but as a Turkish citizen, I studied in the United States myself as a foreigner. After graduation, I had to show some sort of skills in order to be hired in the United States as a non-US citizen. So I can empathize with our students pretty well when it comes to education in Turkey as a foreigner in Turkey, the life difficulties in Turkey. So as Nada explained very well, the program has been already very successful, but especially the days with COVID, we in the past months we have supported our kids with laptops, and we also realized that they need an extra support, not only for the we provide them the gap funding for their education, but also they needed some sort of personal and professional support. So we started to do check-in calls with our students, or officers calls them once a month, and they go through their life, their difficulties they face during their studies and everything. So we try to be there with them. And for 2021, our vision is to really expand the program in a way that it will contribute to their both personal and professional skills after graduation specifically. Because in Turkey, in this economic situation of Turkey, it's really difficult to even find jobs for Turkish citizens themselves. Being a foreigner, it becomes even more challenging. So therefore, we realize that we need to support them in a way that it can contribute to their 21st century skills. So we will develop professional development workshops with our scholars throughout their education. You probably have seen it in our proposal as well. They are going to be going through different kind of programs, such as learning how to manage their times, how to understand finances, how to have a high competency of computer literacy, things like that, because it is really important to have these kind of 21st century skills to kind of show that they're themselves and in the job fields. On top of that, we are planning on running a pilot internship program. We see that it's a big challenge for everybody in Turkey to find internships, paid or unpaid. And we've been getting a lot of inquiries from our students that they cannot find internships after graduation or close to graduation. So we want to help them place them in local businesses for 6 months or a year periods of time, so that they can collect some experiences within their work fields. We also want to open our Karam House as an application center this year, taking kids in parts as groups, so they can use the computers there to apply for other grants or also apply for our scholarship as well. This year, we also wanted to give a second chance to the kids that weren't able to get a placement in our scholarship program. So we gave them a scholarship, how to do a scholarship application workshop for 3 days. We taught them how to do a successful interview, how to show their skills, how to talk about their features and their hopes. And after that, we were able to place another 6 kids in the program. So we want to hopefully continue doing all the workshops with them and contribute to their soft skills, their professional development, their personal development, so they can, after graduation, they can shine like stars within all the people that are waiting to place themselves in the job fields. I'm very excited. It's probably, you can hear it from my voice. This is my first time meeting you guys. I planned a better speech, but hopefully I was able to give you what I feel, what I think about the program, and hopefully we will grow it all together. Thank you so much. Shall we introduce Mahmut and Lona? Yeah. Okay, we have Mahmut and Lona.
Jump in here just a second to let everybody know that we're going to hear from the students now, but then afterwards there will be a lot of time for all of you to have and ask any questions, either from our team or the students. So I wanted to make sure like everybody understood the roadmap of the call and that there's a lot of time for Q&A after.
Thank you, Lina. So we have Lona and Mahmut with us. Lona is a medicine student and Mahmut is a computer science student. They have been with us for 1 year. Shall we start with Lona? Yeah?
Yeah.
Ladies first, yeah. Lona, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your studies, your university?
Yeah. First of all, I'm so happy today to be with you. And it's a big pleasure to me to be one of scholarship students sharing you this meeting today. My name is Luna Labresh. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Homs, Syria, and as Mr. Tutku say that I'm a medicine student in my last year in Akdeniz University in Antalya, Turkey. I came to Turkey from 1 year ago. And if I tell you some about my life, past life, I was living in Syria with my mom, who is my whole family, and I was living in my grandmother's home because my house was one of the houses were destroyed in the Syrian war. And since the war in Syria has begun, there was no electricity, not enough water, continuously sound of shells, gunfire, and a very cold winter. And in the same time, my mother is a teacher, and with high cost living was occurred in Syria after the war, my mother's salary was no longer enough for us. So I decided to change my life and to be strong, to divorce all the difficulties in my way and to leave Syria to find a better life in a safer place for myself and for my mom. So I was searching on the internet to find a university to complete my education, and finally I get the admission in one of the best medical school here in Turkey. But on the other hand, there was financial difficulties which facing me. So I was searching on the internet to find a scholarship, and I applied to a Karam scholarship. The miracle happened when I got accepted to a Karam scholarship, because this scholarship affected my life dramatically in very positive way. It helps me at first to pay the cost of language, Turkish language school. Then after March here in Turkey, the pandemic has started, and all dormitories were closed. So it forced me to rent an apartment, which is so expensive for me. But thanks to Karam scholarship, helps me a lot. And actually, this scholarship isn't an financial support. Isn't just a financial support. It helps me to developing my skills. Like 5 months ago, I my name was nominated to an English course, and the placement exam was funded by the scholarship, and it was a very nice experience, and it was a very good course. And in addition, Ms. Noor Bitar, who is a scholarship representative in Istanbul, يعني, contact with us from time to time to give us moral support. Yeah, my time here in Turkey was very difficult at first, but then everything came more easier, and my family support me a lot. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Lana. I was going to ask you how Karam scholarship impacted your life, but you have already touched that question. Thank you so much. So how the COVID-19 situation impacted your studies and life in Turkey? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, like I said that in March, the pandemic started here in Turkey, and then when I was starting work in hospital, I was in contact with many coronavirus patients. This situation put me in health danger, and then when the all dormitories of students were closed, I forced to rent an apartment without sharing it with any flatmates. So it cost me a lot of money. This affected me a lot in very a bad way, but thanks, like I say, thanks to Karam scholarship helps me a lot to pay this amount of money.
Thank you, Lona. My last question for you then. What gives you hope for the future? What is your hope?
My hope is to complete my study abroad. Like, I believe that every person in this life has own dream and own hope. And my own dream is to complete my study abroad and be a specialist abroad, be a specialist in endocrinology and metabolism. It's my hope. That is my hope.
You're really hanging into your career then. That's good. That's ambitious. Thank you, Lona. Thank you so much for all the answers. Let's go with Mahmoud now. Hi, Mahmoud.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What are you studying? Which university? Let's start with that.
Okay. First of all, hi everyone. I'm so excited to meet you all. My name is Mahmoud Mardini from Damascus, Syria. And I live in Turkey, and I'm studying computer engineering in Barton University. That's about me. I want to talk about my journey to university and how my family supported me in this journey. After the revolution and the civil war in Syria, me and my family went to Yemen. And my father died there, and I was 14 years old. After 1 year, another war started in Yemen, and we didn't have any alternatives. So we went back to Syria during the war. Because of the war, I couldn't complete my study there in Syria. So after 1 year in Syria, I faced many troubles again, and we had to leave Syria again. So we went to Turkey, but the life conditions in Turkey was very hard to us. So I had to work instead of studying, and I was 17 years old. So I decided to go to Germany alone by sea to be able to continue my study there. When I went to Germany, I lived with a German family and learned German very well. But I faced many problems again in continuing my study because they told me Germany, you are only able to study in an apprenticeship program for 3 years, not in a university, which was my dream, studying in a university, especially computer science. I always wanted to study computer science. For that reason, I fell into depression and faced many health problems. But that time, my family's financial situation got better in Turkey, and they told me that they can help me to study in the university in Turkey. So after 1 year in Germany, I decided to leave everything and to go to Turkey again. My family's actually my family's situation, financial situations in Turkey wasn't very good, but they supported me a lot. But I wanted to be able to rely on myself as fast as possible. So I learned Turkish in very short time. Then I got the secondary school and university exam certificates for international students in Turkey. And after almost 1 year in Turkey, I received an acceptance speech from Barton University Management and Information Systems Department. And I started studying in the end of 2017. I was very happy, but actually it wasn't my favorite department because I always wanted to study computer science, not the MIS department. And it was there a chance to change the department by getting a high GPA in MIS. So I studied very hard, so hard in that time. And after 1 year in management information systems, I got a high GPA, and I started studying computer engineering. And I changed my department from MIS, management information systems, to computer engineering in the same university. Yes, and now I have the highest GPA among other computer engineering students in my college.
So, Mahmoud, you have been a Karam Scholars for a year now. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how did Karam Scholars program impacted your studies, your life in Turkey in general?
Of course. Okay. When I was studying in the university in computer engineering department, sometimes I was working in jobs that are far from my field, like transferman for tourists or translation jobs to pay the cost of the university and life, and that consumes a lot of my time, which is the most important thing in life. For example, in that time, I was able to attend online courses or coding boot camps or other activities that helped me improve my skills and knowledge. And thanks to Karam's foundation, they helped me a lot, focusing more on my goals. In addition to that, Karam team supports us during the university by calling us and contacting with us every specific period of time. They listen to our problems and help us finding the solutions. And they provided us some free courses like English language courses. In addition to that, one of the most important things I got by Karam Foundation is volunteering experience. Because in Karam Scholarship Program, we have to work as a volunteer at least for 49 hours every 6 months. So and no doubt, helping other people is an amazing thing. In addition to that, we got the chance to improve our communication skills from this volunteering experience. So many thanks to Karam Foundation.
Wow, it's so nice to hear these. It feels like we're doing the right thing when we hear these kind of feedbacks from you guys. So I want to ask, how did COVID-19 impacted you, your life, your studies? How have you been dealing with it?
Okay. Actually, COVID-19, since March 2020, we are attending our classes in the university using online platforms by the whole world. And in our department, we have a lot of lab classes, and it's very hard to understanding these courses by the online education system. In addition to that, I was a president of a student club, and all our last year's activities had cancelled because of COVID-19. In addition to that, my application to Erasmus exchange program has cancelled too because of COVID-19. So it was very bad to me. I was very excited to do an exchange program and study abroad, even for one semester or one year. So it was very bad to me, and I hope this pandemic ends as soon as possible.
Okay, Mohammed. Well, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Lona to you. What is your hope for the future? What gives you hope?
Okay. Actually, I find hope everywhere. When I read other successful people's stories and other countries' stories had big troubles after the war, like Germany and Japan, and see how they succeed in reconstruction their countries, I feel like we can do that too. So I hope to get my bachelor's and master's degrees with an enough job experience for sure, to be able to establish a technology company who can participate in the reconstruction and development of my home, Syria.
Mom, thank you so much. Do you both have anything to add, Lona, Mahmoud?
I just thought I want to thank Karam Foundation a lot, and thank you everyone. I'm so excited to meet you.
Thank you, guys. So I'll hand it over to Katie.
Sure, thank you so much. It was amazing to hear your stories, and we're so grateful that you both could share that with all of us today. So now we are going to open it up to Q&A. I'll hand it off to Lena to get us started on that.
Thank you, Katie and Tutku and Luna and Mahmoud. We're so happy to hear from you. And I actually wanted to start the Q&A by actually handing it off to our guests here to, you've heard from our students, and I'd love for them to hear from you why you support this program, how you got involved with Karam, because I think it's also very intriguing from the other side to see who are the people who are investing in the program and into this community of people across the world. So I'm going to actually start with Rasha, and Rasha is one of our board members, and she lives in London, and I'm actually very excited to announce that come January she is going to be our incoming chair of the board. And so Rasha, could you start and just talking about your involvement with the cause and with Karam?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm not on video. I'm in the studio and the machinery is just too loud. I've been involved with Karam for, I wanted to say, for about 4.5 years now. And I'm Syrian by birth. I grew up overseas, born and raised overseas. And when the war started 10 years ago, I needed to get involved because a whole part of me was being taken away. And Karam allowed me to participate actively in trying to help the next generation of Syrians. So I'm really blown away by Luna and Muhammad, and strongly believe in the power of education and the way that Karam Foundation does it. It's about making people stand up on their own 2 feet and take control of their future through education. So thank you both for being amazing scholars. I don't actually have a question. My only question to you is, how's your Arabic? Do you still? I'm assuming you came to Turkey when you were young-ish. Do you still speak Arabic?
Go ahead, Mahmoud.
Hello?
For sure, speaking Arabic, Arabic with Muhammad.
And Luna, how's your Arabic?
Can't hear very well, but actually I speak Arabic, and my Turkish language isn't very good till now because I'm here in Turkey just one year, but I'm learning day after day, and my Arabic, 3 language. I can say 3 language: Arabic and English and Turkish.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm going to go over to the Shapiro Foundation. We have Ed Shapiro on and Larry Tobin on, and the Shapiro Foundation has been such great supporters of our work, and specifically in this program, and challenging us to grow the program. And that's been very exciting for all of us over the past 1.5 years or so. So, Ed, if you have any questions for the scholars, and also talking a little bit about how you got involved.
Sure, thank you, Lena. So I started focusing on the global refugee crisis and the Syrian situation specifically about 5 years ago. I traveled to Jordan, working in the central Mediterranean, led some projects in Boston to resettle, sponsor families here starting in 2016, early 2017, was able to bring over 8 families, and sort of have watched around the world at the various countries, particularly in and around Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey, who I understood were bearing the vast majority of this outflow, and wanting to find ways to get involved and support partners. But frankly, until we met Lena and Karam a couple of years ago, we didn't have a real opportunity to get involved in Turkey. And we wanted to, given that it's the largest single country hosting refugees, and had heard so much about what was being done there. So I met Lena a couple of years ago, and we started talking about Karam House. Was there with her, visiting Larry and I just over a year ago, and it seems like many years ago, given what's happened since then. But we started talking last year, just trying to understand, as we often do, where the opportunities were and where the gaps were. And depending on where we're operating, that could mean early preschool, it could mean support for primary school, it could mean job training for adults. But what became particularly interesting to us was higher education, post-secondary education, and hearing that Turkey, unlike a lot of other countries where we operate, where there isn't support for education at any level, or very limited levels by the countries and their limited resources. But in Turkey, hearing that college educations are supported but not quite sufficient in most cases for the extra costs. And Karam had started before we got involved in the first year, I guess 2 years ago was the first year of the program to support scholars. We became very interested in that and worked with Lena to design a program to say, how could we scale this up? Karam had already been a leader in starting a process and an application and identifying students. And we knew that there would be much more demand than anyone could handle, but we wanted to start this program and had this hope and this vision that we could continue it, supporting those of you that started last year and then a new incoming class this year. Obviously, COVID had some impact on that, and I'm sure it continues to, but we're really excited to partner on this, essentially indirectly with the government supporting your scholarships and Karam, and knowing that we have a trusted partner who can support you and who can go find students who they think would be most advantaged by being able to take advantage of this. So we're really excited to do this. And I guess what I'm most interested, well, your openings were so inspiring to hear, both of you, about your work. What I'm interested in, and you may not be able to answer this, maybe no one can, but thinking out a little bit post-graduation. Not knowing exactly, obviously, hopefully the health situation in a couple of years will be much better and we'll all be vaccinated. Who knows about the economic situation and the political situation is always uncertain. But wondering how you're both thinking about a post-graduation world. Do you see yourselves staying in Turkey long-term, being able to use your degrees, hopefully, to integrate and become employed in your chosen fields, or do you see returns somewhere in there, or are you looking to try to resettle in other countries? So to me, obviously, you're two of several million that have different stories, but I'd be interested in your particular cases. Thank you.
Luna or Mahmoud, did you understand the whole question?
Yeah, actually I want to complete my study abroad, not here in Turkey, for many of reasons. First, one of them that when I graduate from the university and be a doctor and work in hospitals, I can work as a foreign doctor. So my salary isn't enough, and isn't salaries earned by the Turkish citizens. And all of them know about the situation in Turkey or in Arabic countries isn't not very good. So I decided to complete my study and be a specialist abroad, and to be a using the English language, because it's better. And I'm better in English than in Turkish. And to find a better life for myself and for my family.
Okay, for me, I hope to complete my study abroad too, because as I said, I'm a computer science student, and actually computer engineering. I'm so interested in computer engineering and software engineering development, software development, and I think that Turkey is not so good in the soft in technology field. So I hope to complete my study abroad in the U.S. And as I said, I want I hope to establish a technology company. So if I want to achieve this goal, I have to gain more experience in this field. And to gain experience, of course, I need to to work to get this experience in the big companies, like the companies in Silicon Valley in California. And so I hope I want to complete my master's degree in another country, specifically in English language. It's very important for technology field. And then I want to work in companies that are in other countries like US or UK too.
I want to say another thing. Like, I hope to do this. I want to do this, but actually everything need for example, if I want to complete my study in Australia or in UK or in Canada or it took a lot of effort, a lot of time, but at the same time it takes a lot of money, a huge amount of money. So I'm thinking of this, but the financial difficulty is with me. Yeah.
For that reason, Lona, me too. From now, I am searching for a financial pay, like for scholarship. I searched very much in the U.S. In the U.S., there is a lot of scholarship from the universities itself for engineering and medicine. So you can search for that.
Thank you both. I can definitely hear your aspirations moving forward, and you have big plans and big dreams. And thank you, Ed and Larry, for being here and for all of your support to the program. I'm going to move to the Sobecki Family Foundation, and we have today Chris and Patrice, and I'm so happy and grateful that you're here, and would love to hear from you about your involvement with Karam. I know it's been it's quite a few years now, and any questions that you have for our scholars or our team.
I can start, and then Patrice, you can add. But first of all, the Sobecki Family Foundation is really my wife and I and our 3 kids. It was a way to kind of involve our children into trying to do good in the world. So, part of our mission and a lot of things that we've focused on are providing opportunities for people to break through and be able to achieve social mobility. That is, they have a dream and be able to achieve that. A lot of people in this world are smart and eager, but they don't have the opportunity. So part of it is trying to find organizations that can provide people with opportunities to achieve those dreams and to achieve what I call social mobility, which to be able to move up and to a better place in life, not only for you but your families, your eventual families. So we actually found out about Karam, I think in 2016, which was right around the time. I think it was the first year we were starting the foundation, and my son came upon Karam. And there's a little bit of background. My wife, my 2 daughters had actually spent, right before the war, had spent a summer in Damascus studying Arabic. And my wife had actually went and visited. So they had, experienced Syria. It was a wonderful experience. And then, of course, the tragedy of the war and everything that's happened there since. So that was kind of just the only kind of personal connection to Syria. But the real connection was, after we met Lena and understanding what you're trying to do, felt very good about. It was very consistent with the mission of the foundation. In terms of how do you achieve social mobility? It's by giving people opportunity through education and other means. I think that's part of it's a big part of what Karam is trying to to achieve it in their mission. So we've been involved since 2016, and support both of the Karam House and now Karam Scholars also. Patrice, do you have anything you want to add?
Hey, I'm navigating yet another type of GoToMeeting, so it is my pleasure to meet you both and to hear your stories. I am a college professor in nursing, so maybe someday.
And I'm an engineer, so there's some connection.
Yeah, so here we go. But as Chris said, I had the great pleasure of being in Syria. Not for a long time, but long enough to meet some of the most amazingly warm and welcoming people that I've ever met in my life. So when this opportunity came before us, it was very exciting for us. I will say, having been there and having met so many amazing people, some of which I'm still very good friends with, it broke my heart with the Syrian civil unrest. We traveled around a little bit, and my daughter's a journalist. Our oldest daughter is a journalist and covered the Turkish, Syrian. She covered a lot of areas. Usually she goes anywhere where there's war, but to keep my heart beating very fast. We had traveled around a little bit and had the great pleasure being in Aleppo, and then afterwards seeing the pictures of the destruction was heartbreaking. And I know for you all what an awful circumstance this has been. And as Chris said, we believe in trying to help. Our saying sort of in our foundation is to teach a person to fish, and not just give them the fish. And so Karam has given us this opportunity to help you, and I can see already that it's doing great things. And I look forward to you both coming to the United States, and I hope you will have amazing opportunities here. And I can't wait to see all the incredible things that will happen for you in your life.
I do have a question. If you addressed it earlier and I missed it, then I apologize. But how did you guys find out about Karam, and what kind of led to this scholarship?
Luna Mahmoud wants to jump in.
Yeah, I found this scholarship in. I was searching on the internet, and there was a lot of on Facebook, like a lot of pages for students who searching to a scholarship to give them financial support, and I see the post of Karam scholarship, and to be honest, I can't believe that I get accepted to this scholarship. It was a miracle. It was a very nice moment when I heard about the admission and the acceptance.
For me, actually, I was looking for a scholarship, and I applied. So I started the university in 2017, and I applied 2 times to the Turkish government scholarship, and I didn't get the exception. And after 1 year in 2019, I got the exception in Karam. So I found it by searching in the internet. Scholarships.
Great, thank you.
Thank you both, and thank you, Chris and Patrice. And I want to go to Julia from the Schooner Foundation to also talk about her involvement and the foundation's involvement with Karam, and also if you have any questions for Luna and Mahmoud. But before you answer, I just wanted to say that I think the Schooner Foundation started supporting us in 2015. It might have been 2014, I can't remember the exact date, but I'll never forget the email that I got from Stephanie from the Schooner Foundation, and this applies really to all of you, but the Schooner Foundation was the first out of all of you, and to get an email from somebody who was just so moved by what's going on in Syria and reaching out and saying, we want to give you a grant. And it was the biggest grant we'd received from a donor. And then and Vin from the Schooner Foundation, the head of the Schooner Foundation, basically matched it. And I realized it was such an outpouring of generosity, because at that time, we were still in the basement days, we had no staff, and most of our donors were all Syrian. And at that point in the conflict, it'd been going on for a few years already, and everybody in the Syrian American community was giving everything they could. And to know that there were people from outside our own community that were so generous and believed in what we were doing, and that really gave us, it was such a generous gift and such a beautiful beginning of a partnership, but it also showed what this could be. And we built this, I'm so proud to say that we built this with all of you and with others as well, but that moment was really powerful for us as a foundation, and a real shift in how we could actually grow.
Thanks, Lena. That makes me quite emotional. So the Schooner Foundation has been committed to human rights for 20 years. It's the Ryan family, and Carla and Vin and their 5 children are trustees. They are extraordinary. They're an extraordinary family, very under the radar, very quiet in many ways about their giving, but extraordinary impact. We take a very broad focus to human rights, and focus on human rights and social justice. We do a lot of global health equity. We focus on economic opportunity and education and the environment. Karam, for the same reasons that Ed stated, and the Sabeki Family Foundation, we care a lot about opportunity. We know that talent is universal, but opportunity often isn't. And we cared a lot about the crisis in Syria. And Stephanie, one of the trustees, found Karam, and it just fit. There was just so much alignment in terms of what you were doing and our values. And when I look at our relationship, it's just been an extraordinary partnership. We've learned so much from you, and we've co-created kind of our journey together. And I was smiling, thinking, the one thing that Vin and everyone in Schooner does is often challenge our partners. And I remember Lena last year when Vin said, yeah, we'll do a matching grant, but we're going to ask her to do a 2-to-1 as a way to challenge you. And just, it's been so much fun sort of taking on challenges together and working through them. I do want to say that Tuchku, I just want to really, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but I just want to tell you, it was so wonderful to hear from you today. And the stories from Mahmoud and Luna are just so inspiring. But Tuchku, I just want to commend you for, I know how much, I can just imagine how much work you have in terms of guiding all of your scholars through the process. But the check-in calls really stood out for me that Mahmoud talked about. You can, I think that mental health, supporting the whole person through their journey of a scholarship is really important. You can give the financial assistance and the opportunity. There's a lot of pressure on young people. And so I just want to say that it takes a lot of commitment and time and dedication to reach out, and I just want to commend you for that. I'm always so deeply inspired and impressed by the scholars' stories, and and just your resilience and your courage and your intelligence and your brilliance. And I look at you both and I know that you have bright futures ahead. I'm looking ahead and thinking about the alumni of the Karam Scholars and the incredible impact that you'll have on the students that sort of follow in your footsteps. And I hope that as you move on to your careers, that you will continue to have that strong relationship and commitment to those that follow. And I just want to say that it's just so nice. It's just so wonderful to be in this space with fellow, funders and all of you. And what a great way to sort of be sitting here, at a year that's just been challenged, crisis after crisis, and incredibly challenging for everyone, no matter where you are in the world. It's just, you've just filled me full of inspiration and hope. To be honest, the questions I had were very similar to, I don't think there's anything I can really add to that, but I'm just excited for continuing our journey. And Lena, I know that we're in touch, and the whole team a bunch. So we sort of figure out every year sort of what we're working through. But thank you for our partnership. It's such an incredible privilege. I'll stop there. I'm rambling.
Oh, no. Thank you so much, Julia. And I know we're just about at time, so I just want to go over just the last thoughts. First of all, when you mentioned Tutku, my question was going to be to Tutku, and maybe I can ask her offline. But when you talked about the check-in calls, the team actually just finished over 100 check-in calls. We read all of the activity that's happening. So these check-in calls are happening periodically, and there's a lot of them to call in, and you will hear more about what's going on with the students probably in the new year when we can share more of their stories. I also wanted to say that on Saturday we actually have a graduation of 58 students from the Karam House programs, and you'll also be getting a lot more information on that in the new year. But we're having a virtual graduation, and it's more about the community and the parents, and we have over 400 people already registered to attend this virtual event on Saturday morning. And we're going to create a video with all the translations and share it with you. But it's also a very exciting time. If you pop into our social media, especially on Instagram, most of it's in Arabic because we haven't had the chance to translate. But you will also be able to see them with their portraits and their cap and gown, and it's so inspiring. And like Nada is talking about, that some of these students are now Karam scholars. Yeah, thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. And the last thing I had to say, well, that has to do with the graduation. We will be creating a recording. Hopefully, Lainey will be able to create her magic and create a shorter recording that we can share with you, and then you can also share with the trustees and people in your family that missed out on the call. And finally, I just want to thank you for spending time with us today and letting us know. Please let us know if this format is good, if you have any improvements you'd like to make on it, because this is something we definitely would like to do with other groups of people, and we're thankful that you were our first group, but let us know if there's anything missing. And lastly, just if you know that you have a lot of contacts with the development team, but I wanted to point them out again, Katie, Lainey, and Annie. They're the engines that are running all of our development, and we're so proud of our team. And you might be in contact with them directly, but I wanted you also to see them and see their faces as well. Thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. And I wish you all very happy holidays and safe holidays wherever you may celebrate them. And hopefully 2021 is going to be a better year for everybody. And thank you so much, Luna and Mahmoud, for taking the time with us today.
Thank you. Thanks, Mahmoud. Thanks, Luna. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Wishing you
Happy holidays. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.